I'm going to explain the Canadian election process and how that works. So today is, you know, you're probably watching this months later. I don't know who the prime minister is going to be in Canada. Uh, I don't know if I'm going to vote. I don't think I have time. This show takes up too much time. If the NDP loses by one vote in my riding, I will regret it. But I don't think I have time to vote. Obviously, you'd vote for the socialist candidate if you were to be, voting in Canada. And it is strange how the U.S. doesn't really have a socialist party. And I was looking it up. There used to be a socialist party in the U.S., but it disappeared. I guess the super rich people kind of undermined it somehow. And the way they do it in the U.S. is, uh, you have the primary or you have the nomination process. So, in order to become an actual candidate in uh, for a U.S. Election, what you would have to do is be endorsed by a billionaire first, and see the way it works. The nomination process in the U.S. is to get approved by a billionaire or very rich people, and then you go to the next round of nominations and voting, right? So that's why people that's what was the problem with Bernie Sanders, where they like, oh, he's going to tax us, so we'll make sure he doesn't get through the first round, even though he would have destroyed in every other round after that. It's not in their interest to help Americans, right? So that's just one of the things that happens in U.S. politics. But with Canadian politics, it's somewhat similar. You have to be endorsed by very wealthy people to a certain degree, and there are some pro-socialists, which obviously they don't like. The NDP probably doesn't have a fraction the donors of the other two main parties in Canada have. The progressive conservatives and the liberals. I think they just call them the conservatives. And basically, uh, the way it works is in Canada, when you start, when you, on election day, the way it works is you get approved, you get your, you register to vote, and then you go to the voting office, and once you get there, there's like a hockey stick and a net, and you got to take a reasonably good slap shot on net. If you don't take a good shot at the net, there's no goalie there. They just want to check your form, your shooting form, and if you don't have a good form, you're not allowed to vote. Um, However, if they reject your form or they reject you for any other reason, what they can do is there's like there's an office in back, and it's usually just some kids or something, or just uh, younger adults that manage it, and you can always get into a fight with one of them, and just if you can beat them up and take your voting form, you're then allowed to vote, because they don't want people voting who aren't tough, right? You got to be able to, you have to have survive at least one fist fight. So if you haven't, it's part of being a Canadian, right? Take a slap shot, and if it's good enough, you don't have to get into a fist fight. And if you do have to get into a fist fight, like, you just go and take it, and then fill it out. I think you're allowed to grab a few ballots if you want, and just toss them in there. And yeah, that's kind of how the voting process works. And that's how it's a filtering process, right? It ensures that only the that those who know the Canadian culture are allowed to vote, and therefore you'll make a sensible choice, right? That's kind of how it's done.